Hi everyone, I'm Slash, and today is July 9th, 2023, and it is a pretty uncomfortable summer because these last few days, even though it hasn't been getting that hot, have been feeling a lot more hot, and I think it's because it's getting pretty humid pretty fast. It's usually at about or above 50% humidity. I think today it's about 26. With the humidity, sometimes that can feel like 36. And I do not like hot. As a larger person, and also someone with autism, I have certain things that I am more sensitive to, and I think hot temperatures is one of them. So in addition to the fact that I'm, fat and sensitive to heat, and my apartment doesn't have air conditioning, it's been not a very fun couple of months, but I am toughing through it. And one of the brighter spots of this summer is that I, along with my mom, because she was my ride yesterday, went to Memory Express and ordered a custom gaming computer. And now I have to clean off the desk that I am going to put said computer on once I get said computer, because they had all the parts except for the video card that I wanted. So they have to order that in and then build the computer, and then I go pick it up and pay for the rest of it. So let's go do that, because my feet are very hot on the ground of my balcony. Because I'm not wearing socks, because like I said, it's hot. So when it's really hot out, things like, putting things away in their proper place and, cleaning and other things become less important than not melting while sitting in my chair watching TV or playing video games or whatever I do with my computer. So this is where the new computer is going to go, and this guy right here that you're looking at, this keyboard doesn't count, but this thing right here, this monitor, and that computer are the ones that we have to get rid of. And that computer came when I switched from Shaw to TELUS Internet, because TELUS has a program called Internet for Good where you get really cheap internet. So like my current internet is I think like $20 a month compared to Shaw, which was like $100 a month. But I really like Shaw in general. Like I've had them before in Winnipeg, and I love them. They have great customer service. I'm not the biggest fan of TELUS's by comparison, but Shaw can't match those prices because they don't have a program like this. But one of the perks of being in this Internet for Good thing from TELUS was a free computer. So I'm like, sure, I'll take a free computer. What I didn't realize was that this free computer was free for a reason, because it's a piece of junk. It's a Windows 10 machine, and it's refurbished, but that is the slowest computer I've ever used. And I wasn't even using it for anything that would, make it slow. I was just trying to use it as, a backup thing, to store some files and stuff, but you couldn't even do that. I would plug things in or try and use it, and just turning on would, take, 6 hours. So I've never actually used it since that one time I tried to use it. So this thing has just been sitting there this whole time. I have this desk here that's going to be where the new gaming computer goes. So I have to clean off the unessential things that don't belong to the new computer and put those away. So that Okay, well this and this and this is for my PS4, which is over there. So that stays. That's my toolbox. This stays because I don't have a better place for it. This lamp, this little clip lamp, is very cool. That's gonna stay because it'll give me an extra light at the station if I ever need it. This, I don't know what this is. What is this for? Yeah, I don't know what this is. I got this just secondhand on the marketplace, so that's not for that. There's the lid of my old fish tank that broke. That's a long story that I'm not gonna get into, but I might make another video about it later. But it's pretty sad, so maybe I won't. But then there's also these SpongeBob things that I wanted to point out. I originally was going to make a video all on their own, but I think I'll just throw it in here. So I want you to take a look at this and tell me what's wrong with this. This is obviously SpongeBob Pineapple, but it's wrong. This is a better looking one than the original one I had, but it has too many windows. The smokestack is wrong. The pineapple is like a mohawk, and that's not right. And it just looks cheaply made, because this is not an official Nickelodeon product that's an official SpongeBob SquarePants thing. Like, it's still his pineapple from a distance, but someone with keen observational skills like me can look at it and be like, hey, something's not right here. And speaking of something not being right here, I want you to look at the close-up details of the different figurines that came with this tank that broke, which was also secondhand. So let's look at Patrick. Patrick looks pretty good, except for the fact that there's like a platform, or no, that's supposed to be weeds growing out of his back, or it looks like they're going out of his back from this side, but it's actually coming from the platform. But his eyes just look soulless, and they're not their right shape, and his eyebrows are wrong. They're too far up from his eyes, and they're just not right. But this is actually one of the better figurines. It looks the most accurate to what the real character looks like. So now let's move on to SpongeBob. Oh, good lord, look at that. So his cheek lines look like they're gouged into his face. There's green crab in his holes. I don't think that's actually an artistic thing. I think that might be like algae. But he actually looks pretty good, except there's another cut here for his chin that shouldn't be there, and his tie is all wrong, and there's not enough detail on the collar on his shirt, and one of the loops on this side of his belt is way too long. But all in all, this looks kind of like SpongeBob, just if he had a bunch of green shit in his sponge holes. So this one isn't bad. I don't like how all of them have these little platforms, though. Like, just get rid of that and just have them be standing as is. Okay, so now for Sandy, and Sandy is the scariest one of all. Get ready for this. God! Okay, so her helmet is way too small, and her face is just wrong. She just looks like a demon disguised as Sandy Cheeks. And she's got coral on her back, obviously. Her tail has red on it and just doesn't look right. The design on her suit is just wrong. The stripes on her arms aren't right. But it's mostly just her face. Like, just look at that. God. Ugh. That's gonna give me nightmares. This is the scariest thing I've seen. I know it's supposed to be Sandy, but just look at this. Look at this. That's so f***ed up. What is wrong with her face? Looks like she was beaten with an ugly stick. Okay, so this monitor has to go. I don't even know if this is plugged in. Is it? Yeah, it is. Okay. Look how small this thing is, too. Like, that's just like a cheap, tiny little thing. You can barely see anything on that. Okay, gotta get these out. Don't know how well that's gonna work. Lefty, loosey, righty, tighty. Doesn't always seem to work on these things. This is the old hard drive from my old computer before the laptop, so don't need this. What is this? A receipt for my old chair that's not even that one. Probably don't need that anymore. Timberland Pro, something about boots? Boots? Yeah, I don't know. Don't know what that is. Christmas cards? Why are these even here? I would have thought I'd put those away properly somewhere else long before this. Okay, this is my extra toner cartridge for the printer, so I definitely need this. This keyboard is going to be the one that I'm going to be... This keyboard is going to go with the laptop, and then the one that's at the laptop is going to come here once I get the computer. So this I need. This mouse is going to be the mouse that I use, so this stays here. And then this is a backup mouse that I was not able to sell on the marketplace because nobody wanted it, but it's actually really cool. It's ergonomic, so it doesn't hurt your hands. It's got a really loud click button though. And that's the little dongle for it, because it doesn't have a place for the dongle to go. So I need that. This is the this is my screwdriver. That goes back in there. Ah! And then this is a replacement key for that keyboard over there. Quite the process to actually get it sent to me. This I don't know. Oh, this is I think for the is this the rechargeable one? I don't know. I don't know which mouse that is. Some crappy old headphones. I don't even remember where I got these. It's like one of those no-name brands. Oh, and then there's a whole other... oh, this is the monitor cable for my old computer because that one had a video card, so you had to do it this way. And this, I have no idea what this is. I honestly do not know. And this, I think, is a backup for my Turtle Beach headset, a spare dongle. And then, the last but not least is the computer itself, which as you can see, is all by its lonesome, so I just have to take the cords out of that and dust. So that's pretty much all I have for this episode. But I'm going to come back in a little bit after I have done that and show off the two pieces that I do have from the computer so far. Because I bought those separately because they're not part of the computer itself, but they will go along with it once I get it. I don't know much about this Triangle Tib brand before, but these are pretty nice looking speakers. They're very sleek, very elegant. Tested them earlier. There's a little bit of static, but I think that's because they weren't very close to the speaker. But yeah, they worked. So that's going to be the speakers for the new thing. These are about $100. And then this is a Yeti Blue microphone that I might end up using. This is actually more of a backup in case the Audio-Technica over there stops working, because that thing's over 10 years old as of me recording this. So I'm thinking it's kind of on its last legs. So if that breaks, I have this one, and until that does break, this will be the microphone that I use when I'm over here. And I did a temp recording in Square Cow Countdowns, and they sound pretty similar. So I don't think there's going to be much of a difference. And this is actually about maybe. No, actually, I think it's about the same price as that one. Maybe it might be a little bit cheaper, because that one was, I think, about $200 when I bought it, and then this one, I think, was a little bit under, like maybe $179-ish. But I really like the way that it folds. It's very interesting. So it's not like set in stone, so that I can, like, if I want to, I can like lay it over here and talk into it, like this, or I can have it like at this, or I can just have it this way. And then, tilt it towards my mouth. There's a lot of different ways that you can use this. As opposed to that one, who only works with the stand that it's got right there. But because it's so tall, it would obstruct my view of the screen. So for this guy, I actually have this one laying down like this, so that it's sideways, but the microphone still faces me. So I'll like lean forward a little bit when I film Square Cow Countdowns. But even if I'm just sitting in the chair like that, it can still hear me pretty good. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for this episode. Hopefully I can edit this down to something within the 20-minute range. I don't know how long I've been recording for, because interestingly, this Sony camera, which I love and is very high quality and great, does not show how long you've been recording for on the display after you hit record, which I think is stupid. It's the only camera I've ever seen that does that. Even my phone does that, and that's a phone that just happens to have a camera in it. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in another episode for more cool stuff. Bye!